Make this summer your time to shine with Big Soleil. So welcome to the show. It's always such a pleasure having you here.
Hi.
So what is the difference between like self-esteem and confidence?
Okay, so let's start off with self-esteem.
Yeah.
Self-esteem is you're going to be asking yourself the question, how do you feel about yourself overall?
Okay.
And to determine that, you kind of need to look quite deeply,
Yeah.
you know, because you're asking yourself, who are you as a person?
Okay.
Where self-confidence is all about your ability, and the ability can be in anything. So it can be your ability to cook or to paint, it can be your ability to handle conflict, ability to present, your ability can be anything.
Yeah.
So it's such an interesting topic because you can have a really high sense of confidence, but a low self-esteem. So you can cook, but you actually don't have a high sense of self-esteem. Okay. And it also works the other way around.
Yeah.
So it's really, really quite an interesting thing to learn about yourself, to see what areas are you confident in?
Yeah.
And what areas are you not confident in? And then how about your self-esteem? What do you think of yourself?
Yeah. I think that's maybe been probably one of my favorite lessons in the journey of getting older is when you learn yourself, you eventually learn to like yourself more. But I suppose it doesn't always happen for everybody where they actually do discover their own self-value. What are some of the contributing factors to a low self-esteem?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, it can be anything.
Really?
It can be right from the beginning when you're little, a parent who's abusive, or a parent who doesn't mean to, and they just keep saying that you're doing something wrong, maybe in an encouraging way. You can be in a bad relationship.
Yeah.
It also can be something physical. Maybe something's changed in your body. It can really, really affect your self-esteem.
Yeah.
Maybe you've gotten sick. Medically, you're just not there anymore. So really, there's so many things that can affect your self-esteem.
Yeah. I think what's so important is to have a really healthy, if I can say that, internal dialogue with yourself. I mean, do you think it makes a big difference because I notice if you tell somebody all the time, oh, you're just being stupid, oh, you're just being stupid, ultimately, subconsciously, they're going to start believing that about themselves. So if you keep on saying to yourself, yes, I can do this, yes, I can do that, talking yourself up and having a really healthy, again, internal dialogue, is that something that people should actively work towards?
Absolutely. You've basically hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
It's if you really, really look deep and stop that talk that you're giving yourself. So absolutely. Another really easy thing that you can do, which for some reason we don't do, is just accept a compliment. Yeah. If someone says something good to you, suck it up and enjoy it because they've recognized something beautiful in you by saying a compliment.
Yeah.
So even though it's easy to lose your sense of self-esteem, there are lots of small ways that you can kind of gather back that strength. And having a healthy, good self-esteem is so important in life.
I really love these self-care series inserts that we do with Beck because it's something that's so important to me is kind of teaching and spreading the word of being kind to yourself and being kind to others. And I've been researching, or reading, and I suppose, and watching a lot of little YouTube things of Tony Robbins. And he says what a lot of people should do, and perhaps you at home should also try this little exercise, is for 3 days, you're only allowed, what comes out of your mouth is only allowed to be positive to other people and about yourself. And if you mess up, like if you say one little thing about, that person drove like such an idiot, whatever, then you've got to start from the beginning again. But it's actually quite nice to test yourself to only really speak words of kindness, and especially words of kindness back to yourself.
Exactly.
Because it does change your mood and ultimately your own self-reflection.
Exactly, exactly. Also, like he says, also becomes a form of judgment.
Yeah.
And a form of self-judgment.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, imagine if we lived in a world without judgment.
Yeah.
I mean, how awesome would that be?
You know, but impossible, unfortunately.
Impossible, yeah.
So just for our viewers at home, if you could give, if you know, they're feeling a little bit low and feeling a little bit flat, what kind of tricks or mantras, I suppose, can you give them to pick up their self-esteem a little bit?
Well, for me, unfortunately, it is really go out and find a challenge.
Yeah.
As soon as you challenge yourself and you put yourself to the test, your self-esteem boosts. It's not easy to do, so you're going to have a little bit of a plan, and you're going to have like an envisionment of what it is, like a goal out there. but take it, go out, challenge yourself, do something that you normally wouldn't do.
You know what else is actually quite a nice tip? Is when you're feeling lousy about yourself, then some of the best ways to pick yourself up and feel a little bit better is actually acts of service to other people.
Yeah.
Because then it's not about you anymore. It's then, you know, moved on, and then ultimately, hopefully, you'll feel a little bit better. Thank you so much for being here. It's always such a pleasure to see you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So working on building and, of course, rebuilding your confidence and self-esteem is just but one of the ways to boost your shine. Add to your hashtag Time to Shine with Bic Soleil disposable razors, available at local leading retailers nationwide. Now, after the break, we meet the founder and CEO of the Valencia Institute, Rob Paddock.